Adolfo is a zookeeper who one day faced a difficult situation with a little lion pup. People wanted to keep them as pets and had no idea how to care for them. She was hungry and scared. He knew he had to do something to keep her safe. If he hadn't acted, she almost certainly wouldn't have survived many more days. So Adolfo rescued the tiny cub and took it to a wildlife sanctuary where he could care for it and even train with it. At this point she was a tiny little ball of fur that needed a lot of love and care. He decided that he wanted to call her Kiera. The name was inspired by the story, The Lion King. But for Adolfo the name had some special meanings. It could mean God's precious light and bright in different languages. It was also what Kiera had become for Adolfo. The light and the bright spot in his life. He called himself her adoptive father and cared for her like a parent would. He loved her, cuddled her, played with her and made sure she was completely happy and content. But this predator would not become a house cat that could stay indoors. As she grew, it was clear that she would need more than the wildlife sanctuary could provide. What would Adolfo do with his beloved Lioness? For a while, Adolfo tried to take full care of her. But new laws made it increasingly difficult to keep them. And when she started sneaking up on some of the animals in the sanctuary and practicing her hunting skills, it became clear that she couldn't stay in the sanctuary. Their natural hunting instincts posed too much of a threat to the other animals in the camp. Adolfo had to ensure the safety of all animals at all times. At the same time, he had to make sure that Kiera would have a life where she could be happy and be as much of a real lion as possible. Although she still loved to cuddle with Adolfo, she slowly became a danger to other people and animals. He was forced to plan her next move. Many felt that Kiera should be returned to the wild. But that just wasn't possible because she wouldn't have been able to forage for food on her own. Also, lions live in prides, and she would have no support if she went alone into the wilds of Africa. Unfortunately, this option was out of the question. The next best thing was to send them to a place where the keepers know big cats and what they need. He found the Black Jaguar and White Tiger Foundation in Mexico City, which agreed to take Kiera on. It would be a great place for Kiera to spend her life. The foundation is dedicated to caring for big cats and attending to their needs. But there would also be a major downside. She would live far away from Adolfo. So he wouldn't be able to see her very often. The lioness would likely forget who he is and form other attachments. But the man had no other choice. He made the painful decision to let her go. She went to the foundation and settled into her new home. For a long time, Kiera seemed sad and depressed. But over time, she found a new family and became her old self again. It seemed like Kiera had finally settled into her new home and forgotten her adoptive father. But Adolfo would always remember the lioness he had raised from an early age. He always wanted to come back and visit her, but there were many things that prevented him from doing so. At first the organization had asked him not to come for a while. Kiera was sad, and seeing him could only make matters worse. At the same time he had other animals to take care of. The trip to the foundation would be expensive and difficult. Besides, he had to work. Helping wild animals was his great passion, but not what he did for a living every day. But despite all of that, he never forgot Kiera. She had apparently moved on, but Adolfo always thought of the big brown lioness, her golden eyes. Eyes that always spoke to him. After 7 years they were separated, Adolfo finally had the financial means and the time to visit her. She probably wouldn't remember him, but he had to see how she felt with his own eyes. 7 years is a long time, but would their love last? He reached the enclosure and went to greet her. There was great tension in the air. No one knew exactly how things would go. Everyone was hoping that Kiera would give a little sign that she remembered the man who was once her adoptive father. Since Adolfo is a zookeeper, he was given permission to go into Kiera's enclosure. But Foundation staff made it clear to him that he was doing so at his own risk. That could be dangerous. What if she didn't remember him at all? Or what if she faced this man and saw him only as a threat? Kiera was a far cry from the sweet cub Adolfo had known so many years ago. She had become a respected lioness living with other members of her species. Human parents were long a thing of the past. Anything could happen. Adolfo opened the gate of the neighboring enclosure and went inside. Kiera seemed to be acting strange. She was pacing and seemed impatient. When Adolfo called her name, she scratched excitedly on the cage door. Finally, the moment everyone had been waiting for came. The gate to the neighboring cage was opened. Kiara charged Adolfo and couldn't contain her emotions. The massive lion threw the man to the ground with ease. People around them were very shocked if they would witness a tragedy. But it quickly became clear to everyone that the lioness was just happy and didn't want to harm the man. On the contrary, she recognized the man immediately and hugged him. Her behavior was not that of an angry lioness, but rather that of a daughter who, after ages, saw her father again. Foundation staff were amazed and touched by what unfolded before their eyes. One surprising thing was that she didn't seem to want to let go of him. She used her paw and her legs to hold on to him. Then she snuggled up to him as if she were a small cub. This was not without its dangers, considering that these animals weigh over 100 kilograms. But Kiera knew how to be gentle with humans. If anyone ever had any doubts about lions having long-term memories, this is now clear. After 7 long years, the love and bond between the lioness and the man was still the same. Give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Here you can watch another video of an elephant recognizing a woman years later. His reaction will surprise you.